Women's sports has always been good. It's always been competitive and it's always been fun to watch. A lot of y'all new fans who's just tuning into more specifically women's basketball are racist and misogynistic. And that's just what that is. A lot of y'all just don't like women. I want to talk about women's sports today. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of A Quick Little Word podcast. And I want to talk about more specifically at this point in time, women's basketball, because women's basketball is on this roller coaster of a ride right now. And a lot of it has to do with this rookie class. And the problem I have with women's basketball right now is the racist and the hate that black women basketball players are receiving. It is ridiculous that we have taken, not we, but y'all have taken something that should have been fun, that should have been exciting to watch, to grow, and to see it blossom, has turned into like what it is, which is nothing but hate. Women's basketball was good before this incoming freshman class. I mean, I'm sorry, this incoming rookie class, and it's going to be good after this rookie class. More specifically, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. That's been the topic, sort of say, of the past few months, the past year, 2 years. Now, whether you started watching and tuning in because of Clark, Reese, everyone has their person that they've started tuning in because of. But to say that Caitlyn has single-handedly brought in all of these viewers, I mean, give credit where credit is due. She does play a big part in it. However, that discredits people like Asia Wilson, Skylar Diggins Smith, these women who have, and that's just to name a few, but these women who have been in the game for years, who have been professionals for years. Asia just won her second title in a WNBA, and to say that like, she wasn't the face. In my opinion, I feel like Asia is the face of the WNBA. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to agree with it or not, she is the face of the league. Who's been better than her in recent years? And it discredits other women who have been in the game for so long, whether they're black or white. You know what I mean? And I think what happened is, just like anything else, when racist people and when racists get their hands on something, they tend to mess it up and ruin it. It's no blurred lines, it's no in betweens. When racists get their hands and put their hands on anything, it somehow gets ruined and turned into something it shouldn't. And when you think about that group of fan base, and I'm talking specifically about Caitlin Clark's fan base right now and her followers and those who follow, let's call a spade a spade. Her following, and I can't speak to her because, but her following is very much racist and hateful. And it makes it hard to believe that these people care about women's basketball, because I can remember specifically that same group of people, not even a year ago, 2 years ago, saying how, a high school basketball team of young men can beat a college women's basketball team. They didn't care about women's basketball. They didn't care about it before, and they don't care about it now. The only thing they care about is that Caitlin Clark is good and she's white. They don't care about the game. They don't care about the sport at all. Angel Reese has put eyes on the league. Asia Wilson has put eyes on the league. Skylar Diggins Smith has put eyes on the league. You can go all the way back to Cheryl Swoops, think about Aaliyah Boston, all of these women from different areas, from different eras and different decades, all have made an impact on women's college basketball. And yes, a lot of people are tuning in because of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, but women's basketball has always been here. It's always been good. And to say that the league, it's been disappointing to watch certain people like LeBron James and all of these other big names basically say like, oh, the only reason these good things are happening for the WNBA is because of Caitlin Clark. That erases the pretty much like everything, the path that all of these other women before her have paved. That erases all of that when and then you say it with your chest and you say it out of like anger. You hear me? Like, and it's disrespectful to the sisters that's been playing for so long, who's been putting up numbers for so long, who has been giving all of they got to the game for so long. You hear me? Like, for you to sit and basically say that she's the sole reason all of these good things are happening, man, that's a slap in the face to the sisters that's been bringing so much to the game. Like, Caitlin Clark has done a lot to get eyes on the game. However, a lot of stuff that's happening has been in the works for a long time. You know, the charter flight thing, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think COVID slowed that down. And to say like, you know, and so to make it seem as if nothing good was going to happen if Clark didn't come in and save it is horrendous. It's horrendous. And my problem with like a lot of these big creators, I'm sorry, these big stars and athletes and celebrities speaking out about the WNBA, and when it comes, especially black men, when they come out in defense of Caitlin Clark, is that nobody spoke up and talked about the harassment and the bullying and the racist comments and remarks and things that South Carolina has been receiving for like the past 3 to 5 years, the hate comments that Angel has been receiving and getting from, you know, that Caitlin Clark fan base, just white people. I'm not even just gonna put that all on her fan base, just racist, period. No black athlete like LeBron has spoke up at all. And even to this day, with just the other day, I want to say yesterday, the day before, with the Chicago Skies hotel being found, and this racist basically all up in their face, recording and doing what they do best, right? Harassing black women. Y'all king still ain't spoke up and said nothing. That's a problem. These sports commentators still haven't spoke up and said anything. No one spoke up for Lil Boston when the Iowa and Caitlin's fan base literally went on the attack and basically was just degrading her and talking about, you know, her in different ways about her game and how she's not good and this, that, and the other. Nobody spoke up for Aaliyah. LeBron didn't speak up for Aaliyah. Nobody's bullying Caitlin. This is a professional sport, and it is disgusting and degrading to the game, not of just basketball, but any sport, to basically say, oh, y'all should allow this rookie to come in and just dominate, let her win. Don't play so tough. Don't play so hard. Y'all have to let her have it, because if not, then we're going to lose fans. They're not fans. These people are not fans. You asking grown professional women, some who have been professional for 5+ years, to not be their best and act their best so the media can have a narrative to talk about and run with. Make that make sense. We have to get racism out of sports. We have to get racism out of women's basketball. if the game is going to continue to grow. And I have no doubt in my mind that the game is going to continue to grow regardless. You know, however, there is a serious problem, and that problem isn't people targeting Caitlin Clark. The problem is the racist fan base that has followed her. That's the problem with women's basketball right now. Women's sports is on a rise, whether you like it or not. You know, and before you ask, oh, but you know, you just tuning in too. I've been a fan of women's sports for a long time, you know, from softball, volleyball, obviously basketball, and things like that, you know, since high school. I remember I was in band, and our band director used to make us go sometimes. We used to have to go as a band, no performance and nothing like that, but we used to have to go and sit and support our women's games because no, for whatever reason, people just didn't show up to, like, you know, women's games, like the girls' games, whether it was volleyball or basketball. So, you know, we used to go as a band and support those young ladies, our classmates, basically. You know, we used to go and sit and cheer throughout those games. And like, you realize, I realized how competitive and fun it was to watch. And of course, you know, I got into watching the Olympics heavy and watching gymnastics and track and things like that. So like, women's sports has always been the thing, man. Some of y'all just didn't like it. And it's okay to admit that, like, hey, I just never was into women's sports, for whatever your reason may be. But don't sit and act like, you know, uh, it hasn't been good and it hasn't been competitive, because some people have been watching women's sports for a long time, longer than me. You know what I mean? Some people didn't tune in just 2 years ago. Some people have been a fan of the sports in women for decades. You know, something that I saw, I don't know, I think it was ESPN recently, the coach for UConn spoke out and he rubbed people the wrong way. And it was to be expected. And the thing is, he's a winner. You know what I mean? He's won championships. He knows the game of basketball. He knows women's sports, women's basketball. And to see people basically trying to discredit him because he said something that they didn't like of their favorite player right now, it ruffled their feathers. And oh, what does he know? He knows more than the average person that's just tuning in, because again, y'all just tuning in. Gino said, and I quote, the delusional fan base that follows Caitlin Clark disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. The kid was set up for failure right from the beginning. And I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. And here's why. Y'all, the fans, her fans, aren't allowing her to develop. They aren't allowing her to develop and just enjoy being a rookie and learning the ropes and learning how competitive, how physical that the league is. Tom Brady didn't go into the NFL and just dominate. He sat behind Bledsoe. Tom had to sit behind somebody. Aaron Rodgers had to sit behind somebody and watch and learn. And not they are two of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL, in NFL history. So to assume that Clark was going to come in and just dominate like that, I feel like they set her up for failure. He also said something else, and I'm paraphrasing. I believe he said that this wasn't the best freshman class, the best rookie class that has come out. And part of that might be true. And like he said, the difference between this class, this rookie class, and previous rookie classes is social media. And that's the bottom line. And again, This man knows basketball better than I do. He knows women's basketball better than I do. So like I feel like what he said is true, and a lot of people may not agree with it and like it, but you got to call a spade, and you got to take it for what it is. Y'all got to get out your feelings and let this young lady develop and grow. She has the potential to be a great player in the WNBA. Let let the lady develop. Let her get settled in. Like, a season, I mean 2 or 3 seasons, and let her get her footing. Let her figure it out. But y'all, her fans have not let her figure it out. Y'all have put so much pressure on other women's basketball players as just as much as her. Because anytime somebody fouls her hard, it's that she's targeting. And it was very disappointing to hear the Fever's owner and coach say that. It was very disappointing because y'all are also they are also feeding into that narrative that people are out to get her. If you look at highlights from the 90s to current, you'll see how physical the WNBA has been. It's not just because of her. Candace Parker was basically dogged her rookie year because it's a physical game. What do y'all expect? They're not supposed to go easy on rookies. It's not. This isn't like high school ball or park ball. This is a professional league, and y'all asking professionals to go easy on the golden child so y'all can have a narrative to run with. It has to stop. And I think, you know, we have to give flowers to the women in the league that have paved the way for it to even be at a point that it's at. And I think it's been very irresponsible of the media, of these commentators, to basically discredit or not credit at all the women of the past 5 years. You know what I mean? Like the past 5 or 6 years of the league have been amazing. We can go all the way back to in recent years when Simone Augustus and Maya Moore were balling, were still in the league. The league has always been good, man. The league has a racist problem now, a racism problem, like anything else. Unfortunately, that's where we are. And I'm not saying that it's acceptable, but let's call a spade a spade. So shout out to this rookie class though, because they have a lot of eyes on them. But to discredit people like, Cameron and Reese and uh gosh, who else? I believe Jackson is her last name. To discredit all the rookie class, Cardoso and people like that is wild and is weird. Like they've been balling. This rookie class has been balling. Um, and it's not fair. It's not fair when you think about people like Kelsey Plum and Tarasi and people like that who are in a league and has been balling for years, to basically say, oh, the only reason y'all getting charter flights is because of this one person. Like, come on, yo. So again, that's my piece. I feel like you have to let these young ladies develop and grow their game. And unfortunately, I kind of see where this is going to go. That um if Clark doesn't start winning soon, and within the next year or 2 years, if she doesn't uh blow up the way that the races and that fan base expects her to, then they're not going to tune in anymore. And I think that might be for the best, and that might be a good thing. However, I feel like give her some time and let her grow, just like the rest of the rookies in this class. Let them develop, and shout out to them because again, there was so much talent that came out of this rookie class, so many big names, and they all deserve their flowers. But um, don't discredit Angel, for her talent and what she's done for the game of basketball, for women's basketball. She's made a name for herself, and people love to watch her just as much as y'all fave. So again, like just enjoy the sport and enjoy it for what it is. Leave the racism at home. If you got to be racist and come from racist talking points to get your point across, man, you already lost. You've already discredited that young lady. You know what I mean? A lot of her fan base is the reason why it's hard to root for her. And I'm talking about Caitlyn, you know. So yeah, women's sports has always been dope, it's always been great. And some of y'all are just hopping on a bandwagon. So either come correct, enjoy it for what it is. I just stopped tuning in, man. The sport was fine. The sports were fine without you. Women's basketball was fine without y'all. So y'all can kick rocks and go do something productive. Go touch grass. But with that being said, man, thank you for tuning in to another episode of a Quick Little Word podcast. Until next time, make sure you check out the descriptions. Make sure you check out the links. Maybe order you something from my clothing brand, Fashions. Maybe order the book. Um, you know, support your boy. Peace, love, and happiness.